Hi guys, welcome to another All Things Tennis video. I'm Ross, I'm the owner of All Things Tennis, and we're going to be looking at the best rackets of 2021, and it's a part 2 edition that follows on from our recent vlog. I hope you enjoy it. So, first one on the list, you might have seen it, we've done quite a few video reviews on this racket. This racket, obviously striking looks, the Pure Aero Rafa. It's the Pure Aero model from Babolat that's been super popular throughout many years. So 300-gram model designed for lots of spin and power. This is the Rafa edition, so you get the vibrant paint job, and it's a limited edition frame to honour its user, Rafa Nadal. These rackets here, the Pure Aero, if you're looking for power and spin, you can't look much further than a Pure Aero. They're designed for the spin with this aerodynamic throat you see here, the balance point making it slightly headlight, and you get lots of power from the frame due to the thickness of the frame here as well. The feeling of Babolats, if you've used them before, you know they're very crisp, they give you lots of power thanks to its woofer system. Also, they're slightly higher on the RA scale, so they're slightly stiffer rackets, so that gives you that power and that crisp feeling. If you've had any issues with tennis elbow in the past, I'd say maybe stick away from Babolat rackets, or make sure you've got a hybrid, which we offer as a string upgrade. So when we sell this racket here at All Things Tennis, obviously you're getting that matched online price, but also you're getting the option to speak to one of our expert team about what strings should go in a racket. These come with a standard Babolat string called Spiral Tech, which is a soft synthetic gut. Now this racket really shines when you put some polyester in it. You're letting the racket do what it does best in terms of gripping hold of the ball, putting lots of spin on the ball, and because the racket's naturally powerful, so you're still going to get that power from the frame. One thing I love about the Pure Aero range is its versatility. It's great for intermediate players. You see a lot of intermediate players using it at club level to help them with their power and topspin on their ground strokes, but also advanced level players can use these rackets. They get a lot out of them, a lot of spin, a lot of power, and it's perfect for the modern topspin game. When you think about how the game's evolved in terms of heavy topspin, one racket for me springs to mind, and that is the Pure Aero models. Okay, so next racket on the list is the Yonex VCORE Pro 97. This is brand new, out in the second half of the year. What do we like about this racket? Well, if you're a player that generates their own power and you're looking for a racket to give you ultimate control and feel, this is perfect. Compared to the last racket we just mentioned, Aero Rafa, they're very different. This is all about a thin beam on the frame, doesn't give you much power, but again, if you're swinging through with long, fast, quick swings, then it's going to do everything you want. You really do get a bit of an old school feel with this racket. We've strung it up with some polyester, some natural gut. For me, that really shines with that sort of setup. I think if you go full polyester on a racket like this, it becomes very stiff and very dead. It needs that little bit of feel, a little bit of give, a bit of power that you get from adding a softer synthetic in the cross. We love it. Stan's racket choice. So this is the 97 model, which comes in at 310. There's also the 97H, 97D, so they range up to about 330 grams. This was probably my pick of the bunch in the weight, just from myself and my colleagues demoing it. It had enough stability when you're playing with it, but also you can whip it through and be aggressive with ground strokes. Someone who likes to take the ball on, dictate, wants control, gets into the net, this is a really good racket. Okay, this one, you can probably see straight away what racket this is. This is the new Blade for 2021. For me, that's one of the most innovative, best looking rackets I've seen in a while. I love the two-tone colour scheme that you get with it. It kind of shines, changes the colour in your hands as you're playing with it. And what a racket this is. If you're looking for control, wanting to be aggressive when you're playing, it's a really nice feeling racket. Wilson have always had a certain feel to them. For me, they're a little bit more dampened as a feel, a little bit more dead feeling, some might say, but they give you a lot of feel, a lot of control as you're hitting through the ball. This one is the best blade for me yet. Notice this one's the 1619 version. I think that's quite important to go with the blade. They also do the 305 version in the 1820 as well. But for me, the 1619 is where it shines. That little bit more ball pocketing, you get a little bit more power, a bit more spin with the open string pattern, and it really lets this racket shine. We've loved demoing it, and when people demo it, they do really, really like it. It's kind of, if you're thinking of similar rackets, it's like a more controlled Pure Strike, for example. That's around 305. Very similar weight to like a Yonex 98, which is very popular, in and around that 305 weight. It seems to be a popular weight these days, that 305 grams, with a 1619 pattern, and obviously the 98-inch head you get with this. It's quite a thin beam frame. They also have the parallel drilling in the frame, which allows it to be a little bit more open, a bit more power. But yeah, the best feeling blade for me ever, I'd say. So if you're a blade fan, definitely give it a demo. Okay, next one is the Head Extreme MP Nite. Now this Head Extreme range comes in higher weights, obviously with a Tor, which is 98-inch head. This MP comes in at 300 grams, but with a 100-inch head. So it's slightly more forgiving, slightly more powerful. Head Extremes have really come on leaps and bounds. You know, 4, 5, 6 years ago, they probably weren't on everyone's go-to list in the demo, but now they're really shining. Head has spent a lot of time developing the Extreme range to make sure it's a player's racket as well as that kind of intermediate racket when you see people using the Extreme S or Extreme Light, etc. They're still really shining on these players' weights, the 300, the 305, 310, etc. on the Pro and the Tour. This is the Nite version, so it's exactly the same frame as the standard Head Graphene 360 Plus Extreme, but you get this kind of Nite edition look, which is that supposed to emulate the US Open Nite games, which was used a lot. There's lots of up and coming Italians using this racket. So you've got like a Massetti, although he might be changing to the boom, and you've got Berrettini, so very good looking Italian stallions using this racket. And what do you get from it? So you get a lot of power and a lot of spin. If you're thinking about a softer pure Aero, so pure Aero, as I said, Babolat's higher on the stiffness rating. This is going to flex a little bit more, give you a bit more feel, but give you that same power and close to spin. I don't think it generates quite as much spin as a pure Aero, but it definitely tries to do that. There's little things like the spin grommets they've added into the Extreme. The balance feels really nice in the hand, and it's just a very good racket. It's obviously a limited edition frame, so you might be watching this video down the line and we have run out, unfortunately, but it just shows that how popular this racket's been. If you can't get the Nite version, we always have the Extreme MP in the yellow and grey, which is becoming very popular as well. This really shines. If you've had different Extremes and like the feel of the power and spin, try to demo this with the 360 Plus technology. Obviously the spiral fibres in the frame, a little bit more flex, a little bit more feel, and that really shines through with this racket. So the Extreme range, in terms of heads rackets, is probably one of the more powerful rackets. The Instinct's probably on its way out, but the Extreme is here to stay as a more powerful racket. Now, it achieves that through the thicker beam. It's a thicker beam than, say, a Gravity or a Speed or a Radical. And obviously the open pattern, 16-19 again on here. The balance point makes it really easy to be generated topspin as well from the baseline. It's definitely a racket for a baseline topspin player. If you're looking to hit with load up with topspin, want a little bit more feel, a little bit of a softer feel maybe than a Babolat, it's a must demo. Okay, so next on the list is the Tecnifibre 298 Rebound Eager. So this is a racket used and made directly for Iga Swiatek, who's come to the prominence in the last year or two, winning the French Open. So what is the racket all about? Well, Tecnifibre Rebound series, interestingly, they went the way of making a slightly shorter length racket for females. So think of that as you will. This is a racket for a female, top female player, and males alike can use it, because it's at that 298 gram weight. So a nice, easy to handle weight without being too heavy in terms of over 300. Similar to like a Radical MP weight or a Gravity MP if you've used those before. It whips through. There's definitely a head-like balance in the frame, so the weight's more on the handle. It whips through very nicely. It's got that solid Tecnifibre feel. The build quality of these new Tecnifibre rackets are really nice. Little things like you've got the lock grommets, which are very popular now. It's a nice design on the frame, nice colour scheme on the frame as well. It's been very popular for us in terms of males and females using the racket, but it's nice to see a racket designed for a female. You've got obviously the Wilson Pro Staff, Autograph and Federer, which he helped design and use the racket. It's 340 grams, arguably one of the rackets that a pro uses off the shelf. This is supposed to emulate that from Tecnifibre as well, designed for a pro WTA player, looking for that heavy topspin and the feel that Tecnifibres normally give. Right guys, thanks for watching our best rackets of 2021, the part 2 edition that follows on from our blog. Just as a thanks for watching to the end of the video, where if you type in END10 on your next order with us, you'll get 10% off, so that's just for people that have watched to the end of the video. If you like the video, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more racket reviews, more funny videos, etc. Thanks.